All right, here we are. How's it going, Gemma?
Hey, no, how's it going? Welcome to the Music Bingo podcast.
Yeah, and you know what? I forgot the very first thing. We need to say hello first. So let's do this. Oop. I spent 10 seconds making that graphic, so we need to use it. Um, yeah, hey, so this is a first day. This is my first podcast hosting. Is this your first?
Yeah, mine first as well. I think we were both recently on the Countrified podcast, weren't we? And got massively
Hmm.
inspired.
I think that's exactly what it is. I had fun, and uh, yeah, just having a conversation and not overthinking it is the key.
Yeah.
So, which I'm doing a good job of right now because I'm already rambling. What is the purpose of this podcast? I think you'd agree it is about meeting and empowering future Music Bingo hosts because
Hmm.
it's a great game and people should be playing it and learn how to host and be awesome at it. And the platform we built, Rockstar Bingo, is intended to do just that. So
Hmm.
today, our guest who's kicking it off for us is a nutty fella out of Ontario who is similar in age to me and definitely similar music tastes. But a whole different background. Plus, I've been actually following him and watching him on Facebook, and notice he's doing a lot of storytelling about old friends and stuff, and I'm finding that really cool. But before we do that, maybe we'll do a quick update on the product because that's part of why we're here is to make sure people know how to use it, but also what we're adding to it because that's half the fun of building your own product is improving it. So let's
Hmm.
go to that graphic, which is very similar. All right, updates. So I'm going to share my screen. I have to remember how to do that. I think I do. Here we go. So if chime in anytime you want, Gemma, but we've added a couple things in the last 2 weeks that I think are pretty important. So the first one we're calling sanitization. So the idea being that when you pull music in from a Spotify playlist, especially if it's the Beatles, particularly the Beatles, every single song will be Obla Di Obla Da remastered 1992. And that looks terrible on a bingo card because it's just a whole bunch more text and nobody cares about that. They just recognize the song. So a clever fellow on our team um, helped us put together and identify most of those phrases, and we grab them and we sanitize them. So we pull them out. So remastered, live at that kind of stuff. So there's the odd thing, and if people find ones that we're missing, we can always add them to our little scanner and get that. But I think that'll help make bingo cards cleaner. Another thing we added is to the pro plan. So these are pro hosts. The hosts that really are going to dig in. Is the idea that they can collect feedback. So I think what I'll do here is I'll just start a quick game, classic rock and pop. We'll just use that playlist. And when we go to start it, your first question is, are we going to connect to Spotify, yes or no? But it actually doesn't matter for this feature, so I'm going to say no. And you can choose multiple targets. We're going to talk about co-hosts in a second, but the main one here that I want to talk about is collect winner details. So you can per game choose to request the winner's details. In a bar or pub, you probably don't need that, although you might want it because there's some benefits. You can get the winner's contact details, their phone and email, so that you could reach them afterwards, maybe invite them to a future event. But particularly if you're doing an online show, how do you know that the person who signed into Rockstar Bingo as Jimmy Jam 99 is actually the Jimmy Jam 99 when you reach them after the fact, or you're trying to do it in chat? So I think this will really work for people playing Zoom games. Rick, who's coming on later, has built his own framework, and it might help him. But also even for like radio, we're at a sporting event where there's just so many people, or even we used it on Saturday at a drive-in movie theater, where you don't want people honking their horn when they won, so it'd probably be better to get their winner contact details that way. So that's in the pro plan. And then the other one is we've always had this co-host link. So I'm going to copy that here to show you what that looks like. But basically, as you start a game, and people can see that game running, this is what the host sees, right? As you start the game, you play through it. But we've always had this co-host link for pro hosts, and it's really where the game was started or formed. Was selfishly for my band. I wanted to have the lyrics on screen so that we could actually play live band bingo. That could apply for duos, singles, hosts. Oh, you know what? I made a mistake here. I didn't choose Spotify Playback. Oh no, that's fine. What am I doing? Let's just turn that on. Oh no, I'm showing you the wrong playlist. I'm showing you an old dated playlist. What a terrible host. I can't see that there. Give me a second. I'm going to start one more game. What an awful host. We could always trim this out. Let me do that again. I'm going to grab one actually from our shows. In fact, we have a show tomorrow night. It's not this one, but that's fine. Do that one more time. I'm going to start a game here. It has nothing to do with Spotify playback, but it does have to do with it being a list that's created since we've added the feature. So I'm going to copy that co-host link. I'm going to paste that here. So now if you're a band, a singer, a duo on stage, you can actually see the tempo, so 125 beats per minute, the key signature, so it's in F sharp, and then we've actually, just because we can grab this data from Spotify, other information that's of interest. So the reason we repeat the key and tempo in there is that's the original key and tempo, but because you can customize your own list, you can actually set your own tempo and set your own key. And so on here, it would be the one that we've set as the band or duo. This would be the key for the original in case you care about that. So examples of that would be a lot of songs when we play them live, you just want them a hair faster. They just don't, like the album speed doesn't work live. So you might want to bring it up a tick. And the key signature is definitely important for if it's, if you're trying to do Journey, not many of us can hit Steve Perry's range. So you might want to just dial it back a bit so you don't blow your throat out. So you might make that adjustment. So I think that's pretty neat feature. There's not a lot of live band hosts out there, but looking to change that. So basically that started as the reason behind the platform, and I'm really excited to see it make a return. So I think that's everything, right? We're going to talk about sanitization. Okay, well then I'll stop talking and I'll stop sharing my screen.
And let's bring
yeah, but wait, I made a little intro thing. Here we go. So on to the guest. Hello, Rick. Well, thanks, Rick.
Is it on? Is this thing on?
It's on. How's it going, man?
Hey, it's going very well.
Framework. No, that's too much.
Yeah.
Too much me.
There you go.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I like my hair in that image. Looks good.
You're talking about the facial hair?
Hey.
You're wearing a hat, Rick, for those that are listening on audio.
I'm a man of many hats. As we'll allude to later on. Very cool. Great. Thanks for letting me be on here. This is cool.
Oh, great to have you. No, we'd love you to give a quick introduction of yourself and how you're involved with Music Bingo.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Well, my performing name or my stage name is Rick Rocker, coming to you live from the rock and roll basement. That's right. It's bass with an ASS in it. Wait, is that right? I just made that up just now, so I'm not.
You are a bass player, though, right?
Yeah. That's why a section of what you do, Sean, is really appealing to me. I used to belong to a band called the Rock Nest Monster. So I was the bass player for that. Just a couple of friends, we all got together and we just jammed for fun. So it was really cool. I was born. Can I tell you how I was born?
Of course.
Well, I mean, not how I was born. That's the gory details. I'll leave those out because I wasn't around yet. Well, I mean, just there. But yeah, I was born Richard Cole, and I have always been an entertainer. My sisters would always, put costumes on me and dress me up and get me to do funny dances and everything for them. So always been an entertainer. I started doing magic, like with card tricks and sawing people in half and disappearing ladies and stuff. I did that for a very long time. I also took tap, jazz, and ballet during high school. I know, right? You can't tell it by this body, but I used to be not a ballerina, but you know where I'm going with that. And then I did some stand-up comedy when I was at university. I studied psychology and English at Carleton University, which is here in Ontario, And I finished up at Queen's University, which is also here in Ontario, Canada. And then the dean of my psychology area, he said, "What do you want to do?" And during that time, I had learned this fascinating study called hypnosis, which goes back to when I was 12 years old. My dad took me to the college where he worked, and I got to see this hypnotist, really famous here in Canada. His name's Mike Mandel. And for those of you who don't know what a hypnotist is somebody, he brings a bunch of people up on stage, puts them in a relaxed state, and then has them do amazing imaginary scenes, like talking into their shoe, thinking it's a cell phone, or falling in love with a giant yellow monkey. You know, it's kind of funny stuff like that. So after university, I learned how to do hypnosis. I took to the stage, did my stage hypnosis, and then I was also helping people with therapy: quit smoking, lose weight, reduce your stress, improve your memory and concentration. Something else I just can't remember right now, but it was a lot of fun. And then as I progressed in the business for a long time, I knew the hills and the valleys, where there were going to be busy times and where they'd be slow times. I wasn't on the road all the time. It was only, Friday, Saturday, Sundays I was on the road. So I was looking for something to do on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, still entertainment wise. And so I started doing pub trivia, which I know is really popular in England and around the world. And so I started doing that. It gave, I'll be honest with you, it was an excuse to go and drink for free in my local pub. Like, that's what it was. And I got paid a little bit while I was there.
Very nice.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And then a few years ago, I ended up selling my trivia business to a friend, and he was doing it, but I wanted to get back in to local entertainment and events. And so I put together a music bingo game. Not anywhere as near what we have now. It was basically, I would bring my my laptop in with a speaker to seniors and retirement residences and nursing homes. I would hand out the bingo sheets, and they would all collect all the folks in their wheelchairs and set them up, and they'd come in and with their stack of plastic chips that they had, or their daubers that they have, and their trolls, the whole thing that bingo people had. And I said, "Hey, we're playing something a little bit different. Here's your sheet." And I gave them all these sheets, big sheets at the time. They were on paper, and they had songs like from the 50s and the 40s, and songs that the seniors would love to hear. And it was a hoot. It was so much fun. It was just fun. I kind of put it together because my dad was in a nursing home, and I needed a reason to go see him, and so that was a lot of fun. And then throughout the years, I got into trying to figure out easier ways to make it easier on me to keep track of things like what songs are playing, what the next song is, who's got a winning card, and that sort of stuff. So I experimented with Excel, made up spreadsheets. I hope I'm not giving anything away here, but it was such a pain in the butt that that one day, like COVID happened. My shows dried up. Like, there was no live entertainment happening anywhere. There was nothing on the foreseeable future. And being a hypnotist, very audience participation oriented, it doesn't translate well to like Zoom or online or virtual shows. It's simply because the audience interaction is nowhere to be found, right? It's
it's participation based, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. Like some of my magician friends, they were able to translate their shows, and my mentalism friends, like Magic of the Mind, they could make that work. Jugglers struggled to put something together. So Hypnotist, we were like, oh no. So when I revisited it, I knew I didn't want to go through the pain and the heartache of anything like that. So that's when I found Rockstar Bingo. And it was fantastic. This is going to sound like an endorsement. I guess I don't need to endorse it because I'm on the podcast. I mean, it's right here, it's right there. Like, go there and get Rockstar Bingo. And so I found it, and I knew that the tech at the time was like everybody was virtual. So I was able to put some of what I had already made with what you guys have put out, which is fantastic, and created this neat little thing for me to do, the musicgameshow.com. Oh, can I say that? Oh yeah, there it is right there. Right.
You should say that.
Right there. There it is. musicgameshow.com.
So taking it to the next question. So was that where you hosted your first sort of Rockstar Bingo game on your music game show site?
Sorry, say that again?
So did you host your first music bingo game on the music game show site of yours?
So with the Rockstar Bingo, it was, yeah. Because I couldn't hand out sheets.
Yeah.
Right? And everything is just right there. The whole card is right there. The playlist, the songs, the integration with I sound like your main page. That's what I sound like. But it's true. It's all like, it was like right there. It just seamlessly integrated with what I was doing. Yeah.
Interesting. So, because you were doing this before in senior centers and stuff, and probably, well, you would have been handing out paper. And that's something we hear about a lot, right? Is if there's any kind of aversion to what we're doing, it's, can we print paper? And we've decided to take a line for a bunch of reasons. One, being green, being modern, but also I think the game itself is more, it's smoother because it's all controlled and managed, and you're not chasing a piece of paper or trying to validate that. So, but it's like, what do you think that'll be like when you get back to that? It seems to me that everyone has a smartphone. The pandemic is meant for more internet, more Wi-Fi, more smart devices than ever. Like, they're, if anything, they're becoming more prolific because it's just happening by nature of tech and time. But what do you think that'll be like?
I'll be honest. There will probably have to be like a few sheets that I'll have to print out if I go back to the senior centers. Just because. And I'll validate them by hand, but it really wasn't that serious. It's like, oh, you're close enough there, Ruth. Here's a chocolate bar for you, and participation, just something for them to participate. But moving forward, like, well, I guess I'll tell you guys, it's a surprise, but just today I had a phone call from a local pub not that far away from me that had to close up during COVID, and they're reopening, and I was their first call, and they said, what can you offer? What can you do? And I said, let me tell you about this new game show that I have. It's fresh and it's just perfect. When I explained to her that it was like bingo, instead of numbers, it's songs. I play music. Her response was, are we responsible for printing the paper? And I responded with, no, the show is contact free and COVID safe. People just use their phones. To which there was a silence on the phone, and she said, "How about Sundays?"
Nice.
It's just like the pubs and the restaurants, they've got rules they have to follow, and as a host, the easier it is for me to answer their questions before they ask those questions, the less they have to think about whether or not this is a good thing to bring in. I set up a speaker on the patio because we have to stay outside or limited capacity inside right now. So I told her we can fit as many as your patio can. We can also fit whatever your capacity is, which is the speaker. People don't have to come into the restaurant to hand their papers in. They just, when they have a bingo, they click a bingo and I'm notified of it and away we go. Boom.
So make sure you check their Wi-Fi because cell signal can be good or bad. But I found, like, with the few places we've done it, you just always have to do a spot check that first time. Just do a little walk around and check it, and then hand out the Wi-Fi password on some sort of sheet, because that otherwise you'll just get inundated with Wi-Fi questions. So that's going to be the one thing to pre-plan a bit.
Okay, let me make a note of that.
We've even got some one-page data sheets where you could literally just take it and swap it out with their Wi-Fi code, and then you just print those off or something. So
yeah, I could just see one of the restaurant or bar pub people going, "What's the bandwidth? Like, how much bandwidth will 20 people playing your game take?" Because we're, so. I'm not that smart to figure that out. Yeah,
it's pretty lightweight, but you need something, and you probably want it working in all the corners, right? That's kind of the difference. Is they'll be like, "Oh, we got great Wi-Fi. It works in the kitchen where we load up our menus," but that's not going to help the crowd, right? So,
very good.
Cool. Gemma has a question here because we prepared some questions, and I love this question. How would you describe Rockstar Bingo in 3 words?
Cogs.
You can also come back to that. You can let that percolate because I can see the cogs moving in your brain right now.
Yeah, I find I'm the more spontaneous I am, the more creative it becomes. And I was just trying to figure out if I can insert a hyphen somewhere and get an extra word out, right? So it's like 21st century bingo or next generation bingo. Or
so you could hyphenate music dash bingo. So next generation music dash bingo.
Or hyphenate next generation music bingo. Or hyphenate that and it's just
next dash generation music dash bingo. Awesome. So we just slipped in a 5th word there. Anyway, we should probably move on.
Make it all one word and put hyphens just in next generation kick at butt music game.
No, I think that describes it pretty well, actually. No.
Yeah.
Now I've got another question. I've got another question, Rick.
Okay.
So obviously you've come from a very, very vast entertainment background. Where would your dream game or location of Music Bingo be?
The Gallifrey would be my dream location, but there's only a few people going to get that. I think a venue. I like intimate venues. Like initially I was thinking, would I play like the Sky Dome in Toronto with like hundreds of thousands of people and the opening act is Sting for my music game show? Would I like that? That'd be okay. It's Sting, right? But I really like. I think a greater question would be, or an equally brilliant question, would be people. It'd be people who really appreciate how the game goes. So I don't know, what's a really posh pub. I love England, so it would probably be England or Hawaii. See, look, Hawaiian shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's Rick Rocker, so I got a leather vest on. So I got my hang loose and my hardcore all in one go. So yeah. So that's my roundabout answer.
Love it.
Okay. What about your favorite song or genre or artist? What would be on every game if you had a choice, or what would start every game?
So the games that I play right now, and if the participants watch this, which I'll make them, they always hear it doesn't matter if it's 80s rock. I like 80s. I like 90s grunge. I like 2000. No, I don't. So, some country's fine. New wave is good. Canadian rock is awesome. And so it doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what it is. There's always a Sting song slipped in, like Sting or the Police song. And there's also Rush. Rush is my favorite group. They're a Canadian band out of Canada. A Canadian band out of Canada. Well, that makes a lot of sense. But so if you're a wannabe host or you're watching this, go on Spotify or Google Rush. Yeah, that's Rush is my favorite group, and Sting. So yeah, that's always who I gotta put in.
So what favorite Rush song or Sting song? I would do Spirit of Radio, I think, if it was me for Rush, and for Sting, probably what's that Free Set Them Free song?
If you love someone, set them free.
Yeah. Gemma, can you just mute your mic for a second? We're getting that buzz.
Or is that?
Awesome.
Oh,
yep, that's all it takes.
Yep. And I wish it was that easy with my wife. No, I didn't say that. We can edit that out. We'll edit that out. She wishes it was. I'm in trouble now. And yeah, no, it would be YYZ. YYZ and Sting. I just like anything is fine. Yeah, but it's difficult. I mean, I'm sure you'd love to play YYZ.
I would, and just so Gemma knows, that's an instrumental by Rush, and YYZ is the airport code for Toronto. So that when the song starts, the sound he's playing on what's called a crotale is the airport code in Morse code, is how that song starts. And so that's where they came up with the rhythm and then built the song around that, which is, yeah, only Rush fans will know that. Probably.
You know what? No, that's a good point. This is a good point, and we got to remember to do this. That's trivia. And one of the cool things, like as a host, obviously I'm energetic and outgoing, and that when I run my show, no, normally tame, laid back, is to throw in trivia, like as the game's going on. But I usually play like 30 seconds or a little bit longer of a song, just so people can sing it in their head. I kind of like get that earworm going. And so, especially if it's an instrumental beginning, you can throw in some little bit of trivia, and it just like lifts you from a regular host up to, hey, like that's kind of cool. That person knows a little bit. And then you pick up stuff along the way. People come up after a show, or they email you or text you, and they say, did you know that in that song you played YYZ at the start, that percussion that you hear at the start is actually the airport code in Morse code? Because I didn't know that, and now I do. And I'm going to write that down.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No,
yeah,
I didn't know
I'm pretty
that.
sure that's true, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's true.
I'm like 99.9% sure that's true. You do need to check my facts once in a while. 'Cause the other day I was on my first podcast, because Jem was on as well, these country UK guys.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how like the prizes we give away, like people don't really care. They just love to win stuff. And so I said we gave away a half-eaten tuna sandwich. That actually never happened. I just had said it so many times saying, wouldn't it be funny if, that by the time I was doing the podcast, I had morphed it into my brain that actually occurred. And so after listening back, I'm like, oh my God, I just lied on this podcast. But it was like too late.
It is true.
So,
I can confirm it is true.
But it's now, now it's a, What's true, the half-eaten tuna or the YYZ?
No, I'm gonna take care of that tomorrow night.
He's gonna film that and see half-eaten tuna given to Gary. Well done, Gary.
Well, I kid you not. We had a band dialogue last night, as we do on Facebook Messenger, and I was like, I think we need to give away a half-eaten tuna sandwich, just so that I could be like I wasn't lying, right? But it just was forward-facing, not in the past.
Very cool. Very cool.
Actually, speaking of prizes, what prizes do you give out? Do you work something out with partners and vendors at the bar, or?
You know what? That's usually what I do. What I found is when a bar, or I approach a bar, or a bar approaches me, and they say, what kind of thing do you do for prizes, or what do you give away for prizes? And usually what I'm able to do is I'm able to tell them, if there's a first place team, if we're doing teams, or if it's a single person wins a couple of games, maybe we could give them a certificate or a coupon to the restaurant, like a $25 gift certificate to the restaurant for another day, so that we don't get them just on their regular, Tuesday music bingo night. We also get them coming back on the weekend with friends, bringing more friends and introducing. That's one thing. Another thing that I like to do as well is I say, especially if you're talking to the bar manager or bar owner, all that stuff, that junk you have in the back, with the t-shirts and the cozies, the beer koozies, and the glasses that we don't use. I can use those as prizes and help you give those away. And so a lot of the time the bar managers are like, here's a case of mugs, get rid of these, they're just taking up space. As a host, that means I don't have to provide anything. I go in, do the show, provide the entertainment, hand out the prizes at the end, thank everybody for coming, make sure to patronize the business, and we'll see you guys on a regular basis next week, same time.
Yeah. No, that's a good way of doing it, because it works for you and it works for the business as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Return customers, right? That's the pitch to a venue is we'll bring people in and have them and give them an opportunity to have people come back. So a fresh idea, fresh face, and another return.
Yeah. And what I found is that people come for the entertainment. We're not sure about the food. Maybe we'll have a few drinks and some fries or crisps, but then when they win a gift certificate and they kind of have to come back and spend it on food, and then they try that food, and it's good, then they come back that way, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just muted you for a second there, Gemma. That crackling was coming back, but you should be good now. I can do it on this end. I have power.
No, that's great. So Rick, one more question from me. I would love to know what you think. So if you could add any feature to Rockstar Bingo, what would it be?
What would I like? I'd like to add a level of challenge, where you play a song and you don't on the card, it just has the name, like a band name, and so you play a song and they have to figure out who sings that. I think it's called gamifying it, but I mean it's already a game, right? So how do you make it more difficult, increase the difficulty level, just by doing that? Am I a fan of that right now? Yeah, not really, because I do have people who will say, I'd love to play it, sounds like fun, but I'm not very good with music. And it's not really, right now, it's not about naming the songs or who sings a song. It's just about checking off a box. But invariably what happens is they'll get to a song that they know, and the heads will start bobbing, and before you know it, everybody, Sweet Caroline, right? And it just happens that way. It takes on a life of its own. Maybe later on when the hardcore gamers come in, or you do like a tournament type thing, you can increase the level by taking off the who sings it, or vice versa,
Yeah, you can do a few things right now, right? You can hide the column, so you can either just not give away what letter it's under, and that feature was added for streaming because usually you're 12 seconds ahead and it can be confusing with the app, but it's also could be for adding an advanced feature. But you can also import your own playlists by creating a spreadsheet and then just not including anything in the artist column, for example. So we've experimented with that, and it's on the roadmap to add that as like a toggle for sure. But right now, if you only put artists on a bingo card, you got to be really careful, because if you have AC/DC on there twice, which AC/DC is it? And because our system's validating which one, you don't know which one it is. So it could be the wrong AC/DC. So you probably want to have the song, because there's less likely that the songs would be repeated on a card. Although even some songs have the same name. So that's interesting. That'll be, and then I don't know what you find there, but here in Victoria, our music bingo is played in a lot of places. Some places are really strict about, like, you can't use sham. What's it called?
Shazam.
Shazam. Like, it's like outlawed. Like, if you're caught with it, you're kicked out of the game, kind of thing. Whereas other people are like waiting for the chorus, and with our live band thing, we'll sometimes not sing the chorus to make it more difficult. Like, we'll just mutter it and stuff. So every place is different. Some people take it serious, and some those going for a half-eaten tuna sandwich, they're good with the rules being lax.
Yeah, exactly.
But if there's $5,000 on the line, it gets serious really quickly. So
yeah, that's why I'm not really a big fan of like tournament trivia, and when I was doing trivia, and why I like doing the music game show now, is that the organizers, the venues, would find that teams were coming in to play trivia, order up their waters because they didn't want to not get a question right, and so they were taking up space. The trivia regulars, we used to call them, and one fellow would go for a cigarette at a convenient time where their team didn't know the answer to a question, and come back magically with the answer. And so it was, I was like, I'd rather have fun and entertain people rather than have to,
That's the beauty of music bingo. Short attention span. You could have a couple of beers and still play. You don't have to be sharp. You can go to the washroom and miss a song and nudge the person beside you and say, "Hey, what was the last one?"
Oh,
like it should be light, right?
Oh, okay. Then I take my answer back. And the feature I would like is a recently played or previously played, or previously played.
So yeah, an option for the host is to allow that to happen, because there'll be some folks that want to be more serious and don't want that. But
yeah, I'd leave that up to the host, because if I'm running a game and I see a whole bunch of people coming in and they sign up, I'm gonna be kind of like, hey, let's just recap for everybody if you missed one or two, and then go down the list for the host. I mean, I guess you kind of can. You scroll back up through it. I guess you kind of can.
That's a great idea. The recap feature is going to go in the pipeline. So
cool. My job here is done then. All right.
Recap feature optional. Okay, Rick. We need to wrap this up because we were aiming for 30 minutes and we're just about to hit 40. But thank you so much for coming out and joining us.
No problem.
And being our first too. It's awesome, dude.
Yeah, thanks very much, and all the best with Rockstar Bingo.
Thanks, man. See ya. Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you, Rick.
Bye.
All right, that was fun, eh?
Yeah.
He's so funny, and I can't wait to see when and if he incorporates hypnosis into the show. Like, he was joking by email, like, you will play music bingo, but I'd like to see, like, you will sing every song if it's under the B. Like, if you could get someone from the audience to actually, like they're already in that state. I've been to some hypnosis shows before. There's a guy named The Great Ravine, and I think he's passed on. But you would watch this show, and he would, like, people would just be triggered by a sound or something. So yeah, maybe if a song was under the bee, all of a sudden someone just bursts up out of their chair. Like there's probably so many things he could do and make a truly unique experience. So hopefully he's listening. And if not, he's probably already thinking about this anyway. So he's a clever dude.
No, I think what shines through is Rick's such a great entertainer, and he's really puts it all into hosting Rockstar Bingo. I mean, you can see from his website, the music game show, how he integrates the card within his stream, and it's just great. It's great to see hosts doing that.
Yeah, and he learned the phrase iframe, and he was very excited about it. I don't want to tell him that that's actually the really old way to do that, and he probably shouldn't do that for his own use, but maybe he's listening to that too. Okay, with that, I think we should pack it in for this one and get another one going in a couple weeks or something.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Mean, if anyone listening is keen to be on our podcast next time, then be sure to send us a message. Yeah,
we'd love to learn more about how people host, what they're finding along the way, and help promote their efforts as well. That's the whole point, right? So
the best way to probably find us is we're on socials as Rockstar Bingo. So send us a DM on there, and we'll get in touch.
DM. That's like a young person's phrase, right?
Oh, DM, direct message. If anyone presses the message envelope button, that's a DM. So.
Okay. Okay. I'm showing my age here. Well, no, I knew that was because I'm almost hip. All right. With that, let's wrap it. I'm going to send it right to that ending slide, and we'll go. So have a good one, eh? See ya.
You too. Bye.
Bye.